Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Friday.
Friday, baby.
Certainly excited that it's a Friday. By no means is it the end of the week. For some, it's the beginning of the week. So,
And all days. They're all days, right? Saturday, Sunday, Friday, they're all days. So if it's a day, you've got the opportunity to get 1% better.
So I am starting out today with the absolute gratitude of a dad who, in the middle of a coaching opportunity, had a sales meeting for one of my clients. I get text and information. We're okay, but we've been and I'm like, gotta go, jump in. And so the saying, and I'm like turning into my dad, but the saying is, you make plans, God laughs. We had a great huddle yesterday, lots of feedback. Mark and Jake jump in a car. They're heading to Palm Beach to work with Casey Sherwin.
Ready to kick it in gear, like a whole day ready to roll. And wouldn't you know, when you get on I-95, a South Florida driver strikes, and there was a Nissan Frontier that wanted to get in the car with me. So, it was unbelievable. So we were in the express lane. Everybody slows down. We come to a stop. The Nissan Frontier did not come to a stop. And wham, bam, at 8:30 in the morning, or 8:40 in the morning, whatever time it was, we were derailed from our day. But I talked about it this morning in my post, and Shay did a great job creating this graphic. Adapt, adjust, and overcome, which is a little bit what I talk about in the book, was at the foundation of every game plan that I walked into with on a Saturday for a game, right? You had an idea of what you wanted to do and what you wanted to accomplish, and you knew things were going to come up that you were going to have to navigate. So this was a big one to have to navigate, but in my mind, you got a choice, right? And I love the paramedic, Josh, who comes up to me and does the assessment. He's like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I was like, well, am I supposed to go to the hospital is the question. And he was like, look, you're not bleeding and nothing's broken. He's like, you've got 2 weeks to go to the hospital if something pops up. He goes, if you don't feel like you need to go, then you don't have to go. And I was like, great. That's all I needed to know, to be like, the rest of the day is not getting screwed up by this one event. So made some calls and some texts, reached out to Casey, let him know that wasn't going to happen, but stayed on track for my leadership presentation later that morning. Had a great deep dive into some work with Jake for about an hour and a half, 2 hours of really solid client work, and then also had some more coaching calls. So adapted, adjusted, and overcame, and was still able to get the afternoon. Although I did say, hey, guys, I'm going to take a pass on the cigars tonight because I don't know that my body's ready for drinks and cigars.
Well, so I live with Jake. People know that. Jake comes home. He's kind of fuzzy, kind of hurt. He got a vanilla latte blasted all over him.
I mean, all over him. The disorientation is one thing of the collision, but to have the coffee thrown all over the car as well was wild.
So he's walking around shaking his head going, Mark is a fucking beast. How's he doing it, man? How's he doing it? Because Jake was done. Jake was
man.
So anyway, lots of gratitude this morning. Grateful that you're healthy. Outcomes could be worse.
And that's, I'm super grateful. It could have been so much worse. It could have been life-threatening. There could have Jules could have been in the car with me. Kai could have been in the car with me. So luckily it was just Jake and I. It's just a car. Cars can get fixed. I was able to stay on track for my day yesterday. And here I am this morning ready to kick it in the ass again.
So let me share what I did last night. I spoke yesterday, which was great, fantastic. You scared the shit out of me, but we all stayed on point. which to me, it's like tell people when you're focused on the job at hand and you have responsibility, your house could be on fire, man. You got a responsibility to show up and be there for those people. Anyway, last night, shout out to Casey Della Pena. Casey manages something that we call the League, which is an opportunity for the men of junior achievement to do good things, share, network, create awareness. Last night was our League event at True Cigar up in Boca. Leave this up for a second. Top left is Casey Della Pena. Top right is Chaz. Bottom right is Bob Goldfarb and Seth Ellis. Next to that, the man, the regional president for Aflac, Rick Whalen, who is one of the coolest guys and a fellow Jet fan. Mike Ludis, and then bottom left, you got Howie Craw. And basically, when you put two bald heads together, you get an ass. And then
pretty funny.
There's Rick showing up this morning. And then Double G, who I haven't seen Double G, Greg Goldstein, in a long time. But he's like, thanks, you guys shout me out all the time has made a difference. So anyway, really fun night. If you want more information about what we're doing and who we're doing it with,
get involved with us. Let's go.
Get involved with us. You know, like Rick Whalen said, what do I need to do? I want to get in front of the kids. I want to give them real life stories. It is all about teaching kids financial literacy. Now, I did not get a picture with Hayden. I don't even know if I got a hug, man. I was 2 tequilas in, so I don't really remember. Hayden, did I get a hug? But it was a super night with great people. Jeff Bishop was there. It was just really fun. So thank you, J.A. Thank you, Casey, for putting together a great event. Let's wake this shit up because I got great content today. Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in there. No more back to thinking, top of thinking ahead. Come on now. Awesome. Okay, so it's a feel-good Friday. We want to feel real good. Something a little self-serving, but you know that a while back we had our friend Sean Flood, who is the founder of EFOV Ventures. They're a mobility fund that we partnered with him. We are equity partners in this thing. And I'm proud to announce we brought another equity partner in, and a guy that I've done business with for years, Shay Show Me, Brett Fraze. Brett will be here next week. I just want to show you guys the power of the relationship. It's not always what am I doing with him now? It's lifetime value of a friendship. Brett was the managing partner for Enterprise Fleet. Enterprise, the rent-a-car company, has a service for companies that have 20 or more trucks. Long story short, I worked with him for years. He was like my incubator. I tried stuff out on him. Then he put me together with the whole Enterprise network, and I started going up Charlotte, Pittsburgh, New York, New Jersey. Great. He retires from Enterprise, sits on the deck. I'm thinking there one day, saying to myself, this guy knows finance. This guy knows mobility, transportation. This guy's an ex-football player, so he knows the game. I reach out to him. I say, hey, we're doing something cool. You think you want to join? He does his due diligence, and we're partners. Well, I'm super jacked. He'll be here next week to share who he is and what he's doing. So just good stuff. Kudos to all of us who are doing things so we don't have to pay those freaking
power of the network. I love the moral of that story and how it's old relationships that, you know, bring new opportunities, and just trying to put the right kind of people together, you know, figuring out who people are and what they're doing and trying to make sure that they align. It's great stuff.
Hey, Christian, quit pumping your shit in our huddle.
I disagree. So I think it's great. First of all, it's great to hear that there's only 5 left. So for those of you who did not hear Chris when he was on the show, United Way is doing their Celebrity Beyond cruise, and they had like 23 suites, I think, to begin with. Now there are only 5 left. So be sure that if you are trying to get on that cruise with the United Way fam, that you reach out to Chris and get it done, or share the opportunity with somebody in your network, because it's a great nonprofit to be a part of.
I went last year on the Apex, and it was just a tremendous time. Great people, great networking. Keeping with the tradition of Feel Good Friday, there is a thing called Chicago Hope. No, it's not the TV show. How many of you know the name Pete Cadens after this story? If this don't shake your trees, man, I'm not sure what would. Shay, show me Pete Cadens.
You have to admire the ambition of an inner city high school that calls itself Johnson College Prep, especially when a third of the students have no permanent home and many dodge violence just to get to class. But the students in the Chicago public school believe in their name. They've done the work. They've been accepted to college. Trouble is, few have the money to go. Johnson College Prep needed something like a miracle, and we were there when the miracle called Hope Chicago arrived.
The story will continue in a moment.
Told us counselors working with Hope Chicago will guide parents and students all the way to success.
These students need life skills training. They need mentorship. They need financial literacy. They need guidance counseling and curriculum advice. What Hope Chicago brings with our partner agencies is we wrap all those services around those students, so they're not just stranded with a boatload of cash. They actually have people and teams around them to engage them so they can make it through college.
Poverty is intergenerational.
I love it. It's fantastic.
So here's a guy that is fortunate in his life. He gets into the cannabis business. He makes more money than he could ever dream of. And he says, how can I make a difference? And basically, the story is like, Virginia says, stupid. He goes to this high school and he says, everybody that applies to college, or you get in, I pay for it. Boom. He has another entrepreneur. He puts in 15 million. Another entrepreneur in Chicago puts 10 million in. Here's where it gets berserk. He pays for the parents of those kids to go to college. People who, these kids don't even have a place to sleep. Violence in Chicago is off the chart. So if you have not seen that story, please do it. Why that's not everywhere? Why not everybody's not talking? He started doing it in Toledo, his hometown, right? He's now living in Chicago. He's doing it in Chicago. Why can't that be everywhere? The system is broken. You got smart kids that want shit that can't get it.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Great celebration of a great story. LeBron does do something similar like that. Jalen Rose does do something similar like that. So there are people who are recognizing that the system is broken. Most of them tend to be of a minority because they grew up in it and they really know it. It's very cool to see entrepreneurs who didn't necessarily come from that background still recognize the challenge. I think it's the same thing with, Mark Cuban, with what Mark Cuban is doing to make, healthcare affordable, or to make, drugs affordable for people. It's people who didn't necessarily come from that background or have to live in those problems that still recognize that there's a problem, that they're willing to do what they can to help. What an unbelievable mentality and a great feel-good story for a Friday.
And he wears gold farbs.
And Lori says it exactly correct. Not everybody has to be, make it to have 15 million to give. What can you give? Can you give time? Can you give some money? What can you do to just be a part of it? So awesome stuff.
So today's song is dedicated to those people, young or old, who don't have the resources that we have, the shit that we take for granted, they don't have. Watch that 60-minute story and then think about this song.
And out and love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart. When the light gets into your heart, baby, don't you forget about me. Don't about me.
Turner, the 80s, man.
So Simple Minds, right? Simple Minds is that band. Which did they do anything other than that song?
Probably one hit wonder. I mean, they might have done, it's like Flock of Seagulls, the same
but
shit.
Do you, like, in my mind, forget about that music video. I only see The Breakfast Club when I hear that song.
I mean, that's
right?
somebody said movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. I think it was Virginia who said great movie, or Paula said great movie.
Somebody said
like,
that.
I only think of the fist in the air at the end.
It's just a great song, but the point of the song is, don't forget about me.
Jake, look at Jake. Do I put a fist in the air now or what? Right? You have to.
Now, I love when we have, thought leaders that come in here. Jen Lederer, where did her quote go? There it is. So Jen, who is now working with us and actually is getting her first gig in September. She says, the paradigm shift is there's people who are in jail for selling cannabis. This guy grows it, distributes it, passes out at 40. I mean, the world is upside down. It's crazy. But I want to close today with a piece of content that I think is really, really relevant. It's actually based in when people are worrying, they're worrying about shit you can't control. So I want to talk about control today. I found this graphic. It was really, really cool. And Mark, you're going to love this.
Well, I think it's really appropriate coming from the story that we talked about, because I would guarantee you that all of those kids that are involved with that school and involved with that program have a mindset of controlling the controllables and not focusing on things that are outside of their control.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Things that are out of your control. Again, like I did yesterday, if anybody wants this graphic, you can have it. But the things that are in your control, your thoughts and your actions, how you speak to yourself. Oh my God, how I spend my free time, my boundaries. It may be the most significant conversation you can have. And this happens in companies, internally, externally. Nobody respects boundaries. Whoa.
Well, so the other thing is, when you look at the things that are out of my control, like the future or the outcome of my efforts or the actions of others, the past, the opinions of others, what happens around me, what other people think of me, how others take care of themselves, those are the thoughts that the majority of people spend all day long on. Right. So when you think about like why you can't make progress to what you're trying to do, or you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like you don't have any control over everything, it's because the majority of your energy and focus is going towards things that you have no control over. So when you try to shift your mind back to, and this is what I really love, I spoke a ton about this yesterday with Sistel and the leaders, is if you are coaching people on outcomes, you're setting them up for failure every single time.
Both parties.
If you coach people on process, if you coach people on the present, if you coach people on activity that gives you the opportunity to be successful, then you can earn the right to win. Then you can build the right kind of culture, the right kind of people. But as soon as all I'm talking about is the outcome, you're going to set yourself and them up for failure because you're in no control over that outcome. You have the opportunity to influence it, but you have no control over it.
So the entire sales world is set up to focus on the decision, and we have no control over the decision. You don't know when, if, how someone's going to make a decision to do business with you. By the way, Brett Frazee, 3 years after we hadn't seen each other, bam, he's in our world in a really amazing way. You just don't know. And so when you focus on that bottom piece decision, to your point, you set yourself up for failure. The only thing you can control is the open. I spend time opening new relationships all the time because every new relationship is an opportunity that I'm creating. I can control that. I can do that in a process. Gino is just a freaking master.
Yeah, it's all about the process.
It's all about process.
But so you have to define the process, and there can be a process for everything. I had this conversation with one of my leaders from City yesterday about, well, how do I develop a leader into developing their leaders? You're talking about scaling leadership across different levels now, where again, if we're talking about results, we're losing. You're not setting them up for success. So what's the process of being a leader? And Ralph said, great meeting yesterday. To me, the process of being a leader is observing. If I can observe, then I can diagnose a problem. You don't go to the doctor and the doctor just says, hey, here's a prescription for Vicodin, go feel better, right? Vicodin. The doctor looks at you first.
Vicodin.
I'm just saying.
Vicodin's of a Percocet any day, man.
They look at you first, they diagnose what the problem is to then figure out what the best solution is for that problem. Most leaders spend their time solving symptoms and prescribing solutions.
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids, and not getting to the problem because they're not observing, they're not asking questions, they're not digging and getting to the root of things, which then allows them to create some ownership of solutions for people. That's what the work of being a leader is. And there's an old saying in football, like, win or lose, we booze. That's not really true. It's win or lose, we still coach. Win or lose, the fucking job is the same. Come Sunday, come Monday, come Tuesday. Doesn't matter what the outcome is. I got to get back to doing the same work. If salespeople embody that mentality of it doesn't matter whether or not I get a yes or a no, I'm coming back to the same process over and over. You got a chance to win.
Look at this dude, Shay, throw it up, man. Boom.
There it is. And so that was actually a slogan for us in, I think it might have been Coach Bowden's final year, where we put it on everybody's shirt that they wore underneath their pads, which was Carpe Diem, which was take advantage of your opportunity today.
So, the theme of all of the things we do, and Joanne French nails it. There's James Clear. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your daily habits, Amen. Which is managed by your calendar. Oh, mindset and time management. Look at that, how that marries together. When you are in control of your activities, you create better outcomes.
I got to share this story. Oh my God, I got to share this story. So I just got a text in the middle of this show just now from Tony Levine, who used to be the head coach at the University of Houston, right?
Houston,
is now a Chick-fil-A owner in Houston and a brand ambassador for them beyond. Coach Nudelberg, this is Tony Levine. I hope you and your family are doing great. I see everything you post on LinkedIn. Always great stuff. Congratulations on your book. That's so awesome. He goes on to talk about so much more stuff, but this is a man that I have not had a conversation with in probably a decade, but he sees my stuff every single day. And now I'm going to have an opportunity to have a conversation with him and keep that relationship top of mind, and who knows what happens. But when you bring good people in your life and you do what you're supposed to do, things like that happen.
So here's a Huddle ask. He'd be a great guest on the Huddle. So yes. If we can get him up to do that, because certainly a role model is Chick-fil-A. They do things right. Pretty cute, pretty cool. Houston's in the house. What a great week. Yeah. Great content. Thank you, Hayden, for bringing up the soft skills comment, because that led to all of this. Fantastic. Numbers are up. Here's a suggestion for today. Invite somebody you know to the Huddle Monday morning. You invite people to a real networking event in person, invite them to a virtual networking event, have them jump in, say hello. The grind includes Saturday and Sunday. Love you guys. Drop the mic.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to